Hotep. This is going to be a short video, and I mean very short. And whoever watched this video, I will apologize first. And the reason why I'm going to apologize first is because when people are ignorant, they allow their eyesight to give them information instead of doing research, reading about what they see. We're still having people posting pictures from Africa. Now, here's the thing. This is supposed to be, I think, Syria or Liberia, one of the two. That slavery, the slaves, people, the Africans is going through this country and they're being captured. Some are being killed, and the reason why some of them are being killed is because they choose not to be a slave. So there's pictures shown through the internet, and you see it that these Arabs, we know they're Arabs, we know they are, and if they're not Arabs, they're from another country. But I believe they're Arabs. They put guns to their head, and you can see it. Click and dry. Basically, if you're not trying to, be sold or do what we tell you to do, you're going to be killed. And, of course, some Africans going, listen, I'm not being a slave. You're just going to have to kill me. And then, of course, you got the humane holding pens. They got people in cages, pits, tying them up like if they're an animal, like a pig, tying them by their legs and dropping them down. Then you got people here in America who sit there and go, oh, you don't want to look at these pictures. Let me explain something to y'all. You can't do shit. You cannot. First of all, the United Nations, they're not getting involved the way you think they are. Great Britain ain't getting involved the way you think they are. America's not getting involved where you think they should. They're not getting involved. The politics and the law over there in Africa is completely different. You think because your skin is black, right, that you're going to be able to make a difference. Listen, you ain't the first one. You're not going to be the last one. But let me ask you this question before I get off. Why is African people, that's in Africa, I believe it's 54 nations that is visible and known. 54 nations. Why is any one of these nations are not trying to stop these people in that country, I believe as Liberia or Syria, I think one of the two. They're not trying to stop the slave trade. Why? Why have none of them warlords or anything went over there, got on their boats, cars, whatever, and could go over there and say, listen, get your ass out of here. Huh? Why? Everybody keeps talking about, not everybody, but a lot of people's on Facebook and internet showing all these African people going through slavery. Yo, African people is not stopping it themselves. They got all these kings and queens and so forth, and I see them. They show when they get married and all this stuff in their country or their nation. But why their military force is not going over there, or they join together, at least 2 or 3 of them nations get together and go, listen, we're not having it no more. You think slavery has stopped? You think slavery stopped? Slavery never stopped. People are being kidnapped. Even here in America, people being kidnapped and going through the trafficking. Yeah. People being kidnapped all over the world, and they're going through human trafficking. Y'all better wake up. This shit ain't nothing new. They just changed the rules. Slavery have been big business. Because if it ain't big business, all these Fortune 500 companies and a lot of these garment places, yes, the sneakers that you put on your feet, these toys that you be buying for your kids, sweatshops. Y'all don't understand what the fuck is really going on. How you think these people make billions of dollars? Paying people 1 cent a day or a week. You're on Facebook because you're over emotional. Have you wrote a letter to the government? Have you wrote a letter to the nation, the United Nations? Have you? No, you did not. You just on Facebook talking about, look what they're doing to the Africans. Write a letter to Africa, certain nations in Africa, why they're not doing nothing. Why they're not helping their neighbors. They don't give a fuck about their neighbors, y'all. Because a lot of them sold out. Do your history, you will find out. Back in time, I'm talking about like 1500s and 1600s. Real slavery really only been here for like almost close to 200 years. The reason why people say 400 years is because it's also dealing with the mind. But actual slavery that people was brung here was like close, like 160 some years, maybe close to 200 years. If you do the math. But the reason why people say 400 years is because the mind has been corrupted. And the people who in power use every tools they have to keep you in the slave mind. If you feel that distraught, send a letter to Africa, as many as possible, to different nations and ask them why they're not going to war to stop slave trade and trafficking. Ask them. Ask them. But they got all the knowledge, the United Nations, oh, we're trying, but we can't do it because the law is different in Africa. Y'all keep thinking that white folks and all that kind of stuff. They African people are bound with Great Britain, French, American. They bound with them through money trade and resources. Come on, they know a lot of these nations sold out. Real talk. But you don't want to do your homework. You just want to complain. You just want to complain. And so you can send all the horrifying pictures you want. Send your letter to Africa and at least 3 to 4 different nations and find out why they're not doing anything to save their neighbors. Or why they're not going to war. Because they're not going to. They're not going to. You know how many wars is going on in Africa? African people fighting Africa? Other African nations? You don't even fathom what's going on. The government is allowing them to go at it because they can't just walk up in there and say, listen, I can't do that. They can't. Power is money and resources. When you're going to wake up? You look at your history and you will see 13 nations sold their own people. 13 nations did it. That shit is documented. But here in America, you just don't want to believe it. Oh, that's just not true. It is true. Where do you think slavery started from? You ain't gonna never know if you don't do your research. I'm sure I'm in wrong. Yo, come to common sense. All that video stuff y'all keep showing, that's all about emotions, man. Your emotions have got to you. Sometimes your own people, who you think is your people, or your descendant, do you know who they are? They could be the one who sold your great to the third power, sold them out. Peace. Do your homework.